Hey, I'm Kelly Jo. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm back today to talk about how to choose the best prenatal multivitamin to nourish both you and your baby. This is actually part 2 in our prenatal multivitamin series. So if you're new here, welcome. I want to encourage you to go watch this other video where I answer the most common questions I get about taking a prenatal multivitamin. So with that, let's get into it. So first off, when we're talking about finding and taking a quality prenatal multivitamin, there's a few things you're going to want to avoid, such as artificial dyes and fillers, heavy metals, pesticides like glyphosate, and even unnecessary preservatives. Unfortunately, many prenatal multivitamins and vitamins in general at the store are full of this kind of junk and are not all created equal. This is why I always recommend when choosing a vitamin or supplement, as in the case with a prenatal multivitamin, that you get it from a reputable source that does third-party testing, that confirms what's on the label is actually in the bottle and is free from the toxic ingredients I just mentioned. Next, you're going to want to make sure that your prenatal multivitamin actually contains enough nutrients for you and your baby. While most vitamins on the market might show that they contain 100% of your daily value of a specific nutrient, the reality is most of these recommended daily values, or RDAs, aren't optimal for both you and your growing baby. It generally takes 17 years before new research hits the mainstream and guidelines can be either changed or updated. And this is also true when it comes to the RDAs around fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum. The RDAs, they're simply outdated. That's why so many of the prenatal multivitamins available on the market aren't actually optimal for mom and baby, and why so many mamas are still left depleted after taking a prenatal multivitamin. So this leads me into my next point, which is most prenatal multivitamins aren't actually formulated with the right nutrients or the right form of nutrients or the right ratios to actually make them usable for both mom and baby. Vitamins and minerals come in many different forms and they're not all created equal. Some are much more well absorbed by the body, and many companies actually choose forms that are a lot cheaper and easier to get in a larger quantities, but as a result, it's much less absorbed in the body. Nutrients that are considered to be active are known for being bioavailable. This simply means that they are easily absorbed in the body. So let's look at a couple examples. With vitamin A, you're going to want to look for the active form retinol palmitate. Now let's look at B12. When you're looking for the active form, you want to look for methylcobalamin and adenosylcobalamin. I'm not sure if I said those right. They're kind of a mouthful, but those, I'll put them on the screen so you can see them. Another one to look for is vitamin D3. You're going to want to make sure that you're getting the active form, cholecalciferol. You also want to make sure that you pair your vitamin D3 with K2 because they work synergistically together in the body. I know this can be overwhelming and it might sound like a little bit nerdy, maybe too nerdy. So if you just want to know which prenatal multivitamins make the cut, I've put the 2 best prenatal multivitamins that are currently on the market in the description below. And if you want to dig in and learn more about the key nutrients you want to have in your prenatal multivitamin, I've compiled even more education and tips for finding the right prenatal multivitamin, and you can find it in this free guide. You'll even discover how to tailor your vitamins and supplements for preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum. And as a bonus, I've included a 1-pager outlining the best male prenatal multivitamin to help boost male fertility. So go ahead and click the link below if you want that download. Now that you know the basics of what you want to avoid in your prenatal multivitamin, I want to talk about 4 key nutrients that you absolutely want to make sure you're getting, whether you're in your preconception window, you're pregnant, or you're postpartum, but that you may or may not actually want in your prenatal multivitamin. So the first nutrient that I want to highlight is choline. You absolutely want to make sure that you are getting choline in your prenatal multivitamin. Choline is critical if you're trying to get pregnant or you're pregnant, and most prenatal multivitamins don't even include it. Choline is key for brain development, placental function, it prevents neurotube defects, and this is one that you're going to want to have during preconception, pregnancy, and even while you're breastfeeding. It's incredibly important for your growing baby. You can find choline in egg yolks, organ meats such as liver, shiitake mushrooms, and wild salmon. If you're not consuming these foods on a regular basis, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting choline in your prenatal multivitamin, and even consider taking an extra choline supplement if you're not getting much of these foods on the day-to-day basis. You're going to want to aim for a minimum of 550 milligrams of choline a day, but studies show that 900 to 1,000 milligrams on a daily basis is more optimal and ideal for both preconception and pregnancy. Next up, you're going to want to make sure that your prenatal multivitamin actually has folate and not folic acid in it. So folic acid versus folate could actually be a video all on its own. So why don't you go ahead and let me know in the comments below if you'd actually like a video on this, because I know this topic's a bit controversial. Bottom line is you and your baby need folate, and it's important what form it's in. Naturally, you can find it in dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, liver, and even legumes. Folate is vital for both mom and baby, especially during that preconception window and the first trimester of pregnancy. Optimal levels are linked with a decrease in congenital heart issues, neurotube defects, low birth weight, and even preterm birth. Folic acid is synthetic, meaning man-made version of folate, also known as vitamin B9. Many mamas cannot absorb synthetic folic acid, and it can actually build up in the body and be harmful for both mom and baby. This is especially true if you have the MTHFR genetic SNP or variation. By getting folate versus folic acid, you're actually getting the active form of this nutrient, which, whether or not you have the MTHFR variation, is going to be beneficial for you, and why I recommend your prenatal multivitamin has folate, specifically L-methylfolate. Now, there's a couple nutrients that I want to highlight that are really important to make sure that you get, but I actually recommend that you don't get them inside your prenatal multivitamin, but that you take them in addition to your prenatal multivitamin. And the first one I want to talk about is iron. So while getting enough iron is incredibly critical to pregnancy, and your needs and the demands for iron do increase throughout pregnancy, not all women are going to need to supplement with iron to actually keep their levels in a healthy range. In fact, your body actually produces iron all on its own, and it even has an entire iron recycling system. Additionally, many of us have iron stored up in our tissues from years of eating iron fortified foods or supplementing with iron. And yes, just like folate versus folic acid, this is a bigger conversation. So if you have been supplementing with iron for years and you're still anemic, I would start asking the question, why? So going back to prenatal multivitamins and whether or not I recommend having iron in your prenatal multivitamin, I just don't. Really, this is one I encourage every single woman to go get a functional iron panel. It's a series of blood labs that can actually show you and give you a full picture of what your iron needs are. And then from there, you can custom tailor whether or not you take an iron supplement and how much and in what form. All right, let's talk about omega-3s. You absolutely want to make sure that you're getting an omega-3 with DHA and EPA, but you're going to want to supplement it in addition to your prenatal multivitamin. Now, omega-3s are incredibly important for both mom and baby. Every single cell in your body requires omega-3s for healthy and normal functioning, including healthy nerve activity, hormone production, and even immune function. During pregnancy and breastfeeding, the needs for omega-3s only increases, as growing baby cannot produce omega-3s independently, and that makes mama the primary source. But these type of fatty acids can oxidize or acidify super easy, especially when bundled in a prenatal, which can cause more stress on the body instead of nourishing and supporting it. Because of this, I recommend pairing your prenatal multivitamin with an omega-3 fish oil that's been third-party tested and has a 3-to-1 ratio of DHA to EPA, which is naturally found in sardines and anchovies. These two types of omega-3 fatty acids helps boost immunity, support a healthy birth weight for your baby. It's important for your baby's brain and nervous system development. It can even support mama's mood throughout pregnancy and postpartum, and it's needed for breast milk production. Again, these are superfoods for you and your baby, and it's important to take it alongside your prenatal multivitamin. Okay, so supplements, they're awesome. As you can tell, I'm a big advocate of them, especially taking a prenatal multivitamin and an omega-3 fish oil, but you're gonna wanna combine that with a nutrient-dense diet. So if you wanna know what my 10 favorite fertility boosting foods are to help you get pregnant faster and have a healthy pregnancy, you're gonna wanna go ahead and watch this video. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you later.